it going? Well, that's me back in work now. 2 weeks off, finished, brilliant time. Now we're back into work again. For this episode then, what we're going to talk about then is the Foxhound, so the vehicle platform that we use here, predominantly in the Royal Irish. So Light Protective Mobility Battalion, and that's our main platform. So we're going to go out now, have a walk around, see what it's about, and speak to the few lads who operate in amongst it in the day to day. So cue the cine bars, cue the music, straight into some B-roll. Welcome back. So here we go, this is the Foxhound then. This is what we got a couple of years ago, so we went from light roll into light protective mobility, and as we discussed earlier on about the quantity and then who has what within the section and platoon. So straight into it then, follow me. Here we go, obviously 2 back doors and straight into the rear compartment. This is where all the sort of dismounts are going to be, stationed within the wagon itself. So yeah, here we go. So straight away looking at it then, you'll see that it's quite crammed, but obviously you've got all the armour and all the protection. I mean, within here itself, as we discussed earlier on, so one of these then will be a part of a section. So like previous videos we talked about the sort of how many guys are in each section, so you think back to a platoon, so this would be a fire team. So when you have that section and split down into 2, you've got Charlie and Delta fire team. This would be one of their fire team's vehicles. So you'll have 4 guys in here. You'll have the driver, and then either a section commander of the section or his 2IC commanding the vehicle itself, and then 2 dismounts in the back. They'll obviously be sat in overlooking each other, because here obviously you've got the roof and here, and this is where it takes you out then to the GPMGs. So this obviously can be lowered then with 2 GPMGs on each side. So primarily then we're moving across in a conventional setting. These guys in here will be stood up, covering the arcs, and it's up the way the commander has them, or your platoon commander. So if the platoon, it's up to him what way he has his arcs covered and which way these guys are facing. So these 2 seats then are spare, empty then. That's if you need to transport anyone else around the battlefield. It creates more space then for taking the casualties on, and it also just a bit more room then to sit in. Okay, so my right, your left, here will be all the communications for the vehicle itself. They'll have all different sort of radios, which are not discussed now, but that then keeps us connected as a platoon. And it also then, if this was the platoon commander's vehicle, it gets him connected then to the company, so to the OC, so they can get orders, radio orders, or whatever they need to do on whatever battlefield or situation you're in. Okay, this side as well then, we've also got communications kit that can be stowed away in here. Depends on what operation you're on and what sort of country or what the operation is and what gets stored in here. It's covered up for sort of OPSEC reasons, but this also can be set up as a sort of storage bins. Because like we discussed before, on the outside then, that's where your bergens are going to be strapped on the side of the vehicle. Sort of the side pouches then will be taken off your bergen, and brought inside, and they can be stored in here. So that'll be your sort of maybe some rations or some kit you need to get to quickly while they're inside the vehicle. And the reason why I do that then is if you have everything attached on the side of your Bergen and strapped onto the side of the vehicle, then the profile then pushes out from the vehicle and restricts on what the driver can see out of his rear view mirror. So Bergen's outside, storage in here. Also then you'll have all your ammunition. It's been taken out of this one here. You'll have an ammunition crate that sits underneath my chair, and that's where we can store all 7.62 ammunition, which goes for the machine guns then. It depends on what you have for the platoon and where that goes. Obviously me as platoon sergeant, I'll have my own one of these vehicles. I'll have less dismounts. I'll still have, it depends on what way the platoon commander has our platoon orbited, but generally mine will be left not as much people on the back, so I can carry more ammunition, and then I've got more facilities to put casualties into it within the battlefield itself. And is that pretty much it? Yeah, that is pretty much it for the rear. So what we'll do is we'll come into the front and we'll see the driver and what you can see from the front. Let's go. Right, okay, yeah. So front seat then. So this is where I'll sit as a commander, and all the other guys who are commanders within the platoon and who are Foxhound commander qualified. So generally the 3 Sech commanders, the 3 2 ICs, your Lance Jacks, myself and the platoon commander, we'll all sit from in here. And what we have in here is we're all at the front end, connects us to all the radio systems at the back, and then we can connect in through the radios from the box back here. That enables us then to, like I said, speak to the other sort of 8 wagons that are in the platoon, and if we need to, feed any information into the company and stuff. What we also then have here is basically a computer screen. What this tells us then is it tells us any faults that go wrong with the wagon. It directly comes to here, so fault finding. It also gives us a GPS, so if we're on the move, mobile navigation, you're moving fast, you need to give your coordinates back to any you need to, straight away that'll give you your coordinates fired up in the radio. What it also does is it has cameras all the way around the vehicle itself. We'll not show you the views you can get, but you can get 360-degree view, and this shows up here. So sitting in here now, you've got a good situation awareness from around the vehicle itself. It also goes to thermal imaging, so at night time, when you've got your nods and stuff on, you can also have thermal imaging on these to look around the wagon. That definitely helps whenever you're driving through sort of wood blocks or thick vegetation around you in conventional setting. Turn it on and you can see anyone moving in and around the vehicle. It also helps then if you're moving through the battlefield, and for instance you're coming through like another company or whatnot and they're all dismounted, have them on so you don't hit anyone else as well, so you're moving in and around that close environment. Got Lynch here, Ranger Lynch. He's obviously a driver. How long have you been in?
I've been in the battalion now for 18 months.
So 18 months, and he's a driver. I'll ask him a few questions now about driving and what his role is, but just obviously think, you're not going to join up just to be a driver. Everyone on the team, ranger wise, is qualified driver, so you're jumping in and out. This is just moving us from A to B in the battlefield, and that's it. You're still getting out, doing what we need to do on buildings, conventionals, woodblock, whatever we need to do outside the vehicle. This is just transporting us around the battlefield. So Lynch, so 18 months, let's talk about fucking driving licenses. What did you have then before you came?
So before I come into battalion, I didn't have any driving license at all.
Yeah.
Within about 4 months of being in battalion, I then got my car license, so category B.
Yeah.
I had that for a good 7 months, and then went to do my theory for the class 1, so Cat C.
So like C license.
Yeah. So to drive a Foxhound, you need to have your C license.
Yeah.
To be able to obviously to drive the vehicles about.
Yeah. So like how long, like from getting your B and taking you bought yourself a car and stuff?
So I had my license 2 months.
Yeah.
And then bought myself a car. That way it gave myself a good opportunity to save up and get a reliable car for myself. Happy
days. So from then you driving a car, so you got your B. What sort of time period are you talking from then going to do your C? Roughly,
it wasn't too long, to be honest. It was about 5 months.
Yeah.
So it gave you time to get used to driving on your own, driving on the roads back at home, and then going to a big vehicle.
Cool. So just, what age are you again?
19.
So you're 19. So I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then I know out in Civilian Street then for C license, definitely. I think then HGV driving and stuff. I think you have to be like 21. So straight away then, you know, Leinster 19, straight away he's got that license. Yeah, so you've got your licenses B, C, qualified. Then you go away and do a Foxhound driver's course.
Yeah, you do a driver's course for
So,
Foxhound, yeah.
Obviously, C license is your lorry. You'll go and learn that with like a civilian company, or you could go to Leckensfield and they'll get you up and you'll use that sort of civilian C license lorry. You've got the license, the weight, and that's all to do because of the weight of this, because of the armour. That's why you need that license. And now you go away and do a Foxhound driving course. So what did you do in a brief sort of like?
So the Foxhound driving course is 2 weeks long. The first week you get to know all the main bits about the Foxhound, how to keep it clean, how to make sure that it doesn't just break down for no reason. So just maintaining the Foxhound mainly. And then the second week you'll do driving on and off road.
Yeah.
And just getting used to how the Foxhound works.
What's the off-road like? What's the off-road stuff like? First time on this?
The first time in this is really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Going up and down hills.
Yeah.
Skinning about the place is really good.
I happy days. And then you also do a bit of night driving then with.
Yeah. So you do. So you don't use anything for night driving apart from the night sights on the vehicle.
Yeah.
And you drive around for a good 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Get to used of how that does. At first it is quite difficult because you're not really used to driving in complete utter dark, but 5 minutes it's easy. Easy enough.
So, and just as we're touching there on nighttime driving, what this also can do is, what I will do is out of the frame, I'll just use one of my wee helpers now. Rob, you just jump up, mate, on the bonnet. So we can go into sort of full black mode, and then what that does is someone's going to jump up now. The sort of sheeting, thermal sheeting comes down across the windscreens and totally blocks everything out. It also comes down, if you just look up here now, on this side you can see it's sort of rolled up there, that netting on the outside. Yeah, go roll down there, Robbo.
Yep.
So he's going to go out there, Shelley.
I'll do it.
Right, so what he's going to do now, he's going to jump up and there's sort of netting on the outside, and what that does is when he gets it, you sort of roll that down, and any sort of light that may happen in here, which we wouldn't be doing anyway, it'd be minimum red light down, any for map reading and stuff, down around your knees and stuff. But so that's going to stop any other sort of light coming out. Then I've got my cameras. Lynch, you just pull yours down then.
Yep.
So what happens then is you don't need to turn it on. Just pull it down. Yeah. What he then does is he unlocks his LCD screen. That pulls down. And then he's now going to drive off basically a screen, and he's going to use his thermal imaging, and he also have his Lucy's on. So we'll do a different sort of kit video at some stage, but from us sort of ground troops, we'll have our MVG, which is obviously just our one eye. Our drivers will have the Lucy's, which comes down and then has both eyes, so he's a better SA as he's driving. But realistically, when he's got that down, his Lucy's is going to be up anyway, and he's going to be driving off the thermal imaging in the camera. So yeah, so nighttime driving, I've covered that there. Let's go for, you know, what's your experience then with driving, you know, conventionally, so off-road, fields, wood blocks, that sort of sense?
Yeah, driving off-road it's good, a bit bumpy, but you've got to take into consideration of how big the Foxhound is, whether you've got people up in the GPMGs, you've got to take all these things into consideration as well.
Yep.
You know,
it's really good. Yeah. And then obviously I get in here whenever we're in here and we're moving around at night time conventionally, like it's challenging for these guys, drivers, because obviously they're stuck with that screen. This is a massive wagon, it's heavy, and then you've also got, depending on where you are or batted in the platoon, you need to, like, are you far enough away, just judging that distance and stuff from the wagon with these. And obviously we've got orders coming through the radio, we're naving, then sort of send to him. So yeah, it's a challenging experience. So that's sort of conventional. And then what about driving in the big city?
So the big
where
city,
we are now then? Busy.
Very busy. So you've got sort of light steering. So if you need to in a safe way, it's easy enough to cut through traffic.
Yeah.
It's good enough speed to get you to a fast location pretty fast. But
yeah,
just
so you don't have any drama. So what I'm saying is it's easy enough.
Yeah, it's easy enough. Yeah,
like
it's a lot easier.
Yeah, and especially where we are now, like the road is like I don't know, it's hard to explain to you, like, but the road is just crazy. There's no sort of rules to it whatsoever. So if he's saying now that it's easy enough to drive around in the city, there you go then. So what I'll do then is we'll go out round the back and I'll meet you around there. Okay, cool. Happy days. So that's inside the vehicle, and then that's what sort of a foxhound driver, his roles and responsibilities are. So we just go around here then. So we're stripped pretty down to sort of minimum kitting, but what we have here then is sort of who would then be inside this vehicle itself. So you just come round to here, obviously you've already know Lynch, he's the driver, and then you've got the two dismounts, so Shelley and Robinson, and obviously me then as the commander. So this could be, we could be Charlie Fire Team, and I'd be the section commander, or we're Delta Fire Team and 2IC. Remember then the boss, so platoon commander, and my actual role, platoon sergeant, we won't have this many dismounts in our vehicle. We'll have maybe one if we have that in the back of our vehicles. So what we're on with is obviously, as you can see then, obviously Robinson is a dismount, obviously body armour, his battle belt, helmet, his primary weapon system then, his rifle, and then the GPMG. So like I said, if you remember them from the back of the wagon, he would be up in top cover. So if you just look there, up there now. So obviously that's up there would be where his gun is, and then that's where he's providing top cover from. So, and I also got Shelley then. Shelley, as you can see then, also like a dismount, he's also got GPMG, obviously body armour, helmet, his battle belt, and then he's a sharpshooter, so he's within the section itself. So we'll have, like I said in this one of the earlier videos, you know, one of them per fire team, and he'll go away and do a course on that. Not go too much in detail at a different time. Lynch, obviously, met him, he's a driver, he's just set up then, obviously, rifle then, his primary weapon system, same old sort of stuff. Obviously we're in a different sort of operation here now, so the kit layout is totally different. They will have sort of different styles of kit, but we'll go into it at a different time. Obviously we see them, the two GPMGs, that's giving us the full sort of 360 degree cover in them while we're driving. As soon as we arrive on task, one of them GPMGs, so for instance Robbo could be the GPMG gunner for the section, so he then, that comes with him. The other gun then, that comes off the roof and gets locked down wherever our sort of rally point is, our FUP is, that's basically somewhere where we meet up as a platoon before we go on task. You know, all the other stuff that isn't coming with us will go down, lock down to the wagons, and be a small security team will wait there with the vehicles while we go on task. So this is why these are so good, because you know the GPMG, it's like one of the best weapons we've got within the platoon. You know, it wins everything. It's a battle winner. We can use it to protect ourselves as we're moving. If we're putting in cordons or doing anything with the wagon statically, straight away we've got that superior firepower. And then when we go away to go on task, you know, take it off the roof and it comes with us. So that firepower is always coming with us as a platoon. So yeah, that's the sort of the amount of people you're going to have within these sort of vehicles. Obviously then, just looking at the side, they're obviously geared up differently for, like as I explained before, for all operations you are in. Excuse me. See, obviously where we are in the country, it's this colour now. They're primarily painted this way, but obviously we were the first ones to do it. Back in camp, ours are dark green, and that's because the guys went and exercised in Norway, and that just sort of, obviously this is going to stick out like a sore thumb in a sort of, you know, conventional European country. So we've got ours in green. The only difference is with these that we don't have out here, then we'll have obviously the ratchet straps across the side, and that's obviously where we'll have our Bergens stacked up along here. And remembering then it's only going to be 2 to 3 Bergens, because you don't want to block his view as a driver. Also then on the top of the roof, and what we'll have is we'll have all sort of different sort of cam nets, thermal sheetings, all that sort of stuff for whenever we go firm back in sort of conventional setting again. We can totally camouflage the wagon, and that then becomes a sort of you know, your base of operations, so like your harbour. And not going into detail like that, but if you're in training or you know you're within the army, you know the harbour, it's obviously a lot bigger with these. You know, it's the same again. It happens exact same as light roll. All it is you've got more kit now. The vehicles being the extra bit of kit is going to be in a harbour, so your harbour's going to be bigger. You know, all your harbour drills are still the same, as in shell scrapes and all that sort of stuff. You know, you're just away from the vehicle. This is just an extra bit of kit now that's inside the harbour itself, or wherever you're going to lie up. And that is pretty much it with the outside of the wagon. There's also other little bits and pieces we're not going into detail about with it, but yeah, That's another video then. That's the Foxhound. So that's our primary sort of vehicle platform we use here in the Rangers use in Royal Irish. Within the rifle companies, obviously our support companies have the Jackals and stuff. You'll see pictures of them throughout the internet. Obviously we don't have them here to get you through them, but this, you know, it definitely if you come to us as a Ranger, you're going to be operating in and amongst these a lot. Definitely like you've seen about Lynch then, you're either going to be a dismount first or straight into that driver's seat, and this is what we're going to use a lot. And not just obviously us as Royal Irish, any other infantry battalion who's light protected mobility, these bad boys. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you again.